6 p.m. on today, February the 11th, 2025. The Hope County Board of Education monthly meeting agenda is called to order. At this time, we shall pray. We thank you for this day. Lord, we ask that you look over us in this board meeting. Look over everyone that's here. We ask that you just keep our children and our staff and everyone safe in Hope County and surrounding counties. Have your way. Let every decision that we make, let us put you first. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
At this time, can I get a motion for the approval of the amended agenda?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that we approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been, motion has been made to approve the amended agenda. It's been second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. The chair's report, I just want to thank everyone for being here on today. We thank everybody for everything that they do for Hope County. We are excited to continue to move this school year. Some great things been going on in Hope County, and we are very excited. We are thankful that you took the time out this evening to come and be with us. And that's all I have for the chair's report. At this time, we'll have spotlight on success. And the first one is the custodial team of the month, Standing Road Elementary School.
Good afternoon, everyone. Surprise, surprise, we're back here again with Standing Road Elementary. It's their second round, second month getting this. They hard workers. Every time I go out there, they're doing something. You never see them hiding. They always doing something. Go out there. It's a real clean school. So on this time, I call Mr. Betty Manil up, the head custodian. Next, Ms. Mary Roxanne, come on up. And y'all that will be getting shirts, I just haven't had the lady do my shirt. She's out had a procedure, so y'all will be getting y'all shirts just sometime next month. And Mr. Lee Dixon, come on up. And once again, I thank these guys, and ladies. They really work hard. She really be on me about coming out there checking her school. I went out on a Sunday this time, y'all, and did some checking around the schools on a Sunday. And I'm telling you, they have no trash nowhere. Y'all, that's a great job, y'all. Right, thank you.
Thank y'all so much. And congratulations. Next, we have Shania Bratchen.
So tonight I have the honor of introducing one of my lions to you. Shania is the president of our Science National Honor Society. She's a member of our National Honor Society, our Beta Club, and Mu Alpha Theta. She's also part of our Lion Pride News Club. She is number 2 in her class. She has 207 community service hours to date. She runs her own YouTube channel, and she's a small business owner. Shania is a Sand Hills Community College ambassador, and she's made the president's list at the community college with a 4.0 GPA. Shania is being recognized because she was recognized by the National Society of High School Scholars for her academic excellence. So tonight I introduce to you and honor Ms. Shania Bratcher. I'm gonna put you in the middle.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Awesome, congratulations. At this time, we have public comment.
No individuals signed up for public comments.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Second. It has been approved and second for the consent agenda to be approved. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you so much. At this time, we're gonna move down to information. The first, item is construction updates.
We have Mr. Webb, he's gonna be the one.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Was that a yes, you can hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yes, I'm trying to get the video to turn on. Takes about 8 clicks and it worked. Good evening, everybody. I apologize I couldn't be there in person tonight due to some family health issues. I appreciate Superintendent Board Chair and everybody working with me and allowing me to join you remote like this. I want to give you the update every month on where we're at with the school construction. A lot of it you see because it's very close to where you are and you go by it often, I'm sure, throughout the week. So if we go to the next slide, we'll start with this. Some of the biggest changes you'll have noticed since the last presentation is a lot more masonry at the second floor level. The top image is looking at the front entry, which would be on the right, the main entry, and on the left, classroom wing. And you can see in the top background there, some of the wood beams are already in place there. On the bottom photo there, again, the front entry of the building, and you can see the gymnasium wall with all the scaffolding around it going up. So a lot of the second floor masonry progress is well underway and up to get to bearing heights to put roof over those. Next slide, please. So in the back of the building, the side that faces the football field and the neighbors, you can see the cranes in place there, swinging those big wood beams in place, and also the steel beams in the other areas. And on the left, you can see the inside corner of the gymnasium wall going up, and on the right would be the second floor openings, windows for where the science labs are going to be. Next slide, please. So inside, the photo on the left is in the cafeteria dining area. The stairs against the wall there would go from the cafeteria up to the second floor level. And the view on the right is looking from where you enter the building into the main entry area, and the reception would be on the right. So you get a feel for now the scale of it with those wood beams in place for the roof structure above. Next slide, please. Just some more of that wood beam going in. This was a good day, a little overcast, at times a little drizzly, but the sun did come out a little bit. They were excited to get that up with the weather that we've been having, so they could begin getting the roof decking on there and start the process of getting the building to the point where it's relatively dried in. Next slide, please. So these are the views of the common area. So on the upper right is, again, the cafeteria. You can see the stairs on the right going up to the second floor level. And on the left, you're looking back towards the front entry. On the left is the stage area. You can see the structure protruding out over that. And behind that is the gymnasium. Next slide, please. So up in the left, you can see the common area between the classroom wings, where the wood beams span across there, give you a sense of scale of that two-story space now with the first set of stairs in the foreground. And on the right, what it looks like from up on the second floor level, looking out across that area. Next slide, please. Other ongoing work in the back of the building behind the football grandstand. They're installing the sewer line that exits the building in the back and ties in way in the back corner of the athletic complex there. So these are just the pictures of them ongoing, getting the line in. They're hoping to have that wrapped up by end of this week. Next slide, please. And again, just to remind the board and everybody, the schedule for the project, again, 2 phases. Finish the new building so it can be occupied during the summer of 2026. And then following that, the demolition abatement of the existing buildings and installing the tennis courts, bus parking lot, additional parking areas. So a lot of work still to be done there. They continue to track this on a regular basis, and the project is following the schedule. Next slide, please. As I presented to the board last month on the budget and where it's at, the contractors are just over 40% paid, which is consistent with the amount of work that you saw in the photos that is installed. The contingency amounts have changed just a little bit, and as again I mentioned last month, I was hoping to have this wrapped up with the construction and design team in time for this meeting, but we are just finalizing still, correcting some of the contingency assignments. So next month I should have those updated to you, so you'll see the final numbers there. But in general, if you remember contractually, these were built into the contract with Metcon and J&K, just over $2.4 million in contingencies. And right now, the status of the project is there's just over 1.8 million remaining. So we'll have an update again on the percentages at the next month, pending resolution of those adjustments for assignment. So that's the update for that. The next update is, of course, your financial standing on the project overall as a comprehensive report, and that is the if it gets open here, that's a finance report PDF. Thank you, sir. So again, the areas that are highlighted are those where there have been some expenditures done in there. The typical, as you see in this phase of the project, is just going to be with the contractor, the design team, and any of the contingencies. We're still a long ways out from the furniture and technology expenditures and such in there. So overall, the project is tracking this budget. You can see in the column from the second from the right are the remaining amounts. For example, there's just over $44 million remaining to be spent under what's been encumbered. So between that and the expenditures to date of $31 million, still a ways to go. 2.8 million are unencumbered. These have to primarily do with technology items, which again, typically would not purchase until we get closer to a time when they're going to be in need, because technology evolves and changes so fast. And then the other part is a commissioning agent. And we have just finished the last revisions and draft to the request for qualifications for commissioning. And we will be issuing that hopefully within the next week or two for responses. And then once one is selected and negotiated with, we will bring the recommendation to the board for consideration. At our last meeting, during the public comment, one of the residents of the county asked a question about what is in this new building. And I know it's been a while since the board has reviewed and looked at the plans for the building. And so I've included in here each of the floor plans color-coded to identify the core curriculum courses that are being included. If you open the plan 1, that'll be for the first floor plan. So at the top of the floor plan, the long row of, I'm going to give my best guess, please forgive me, I do have some color blindness. It is, on the computer it said red, so I'm hoping it is. That's all your English core instructional space is across there on the first floor. On the bottom to the left in the blue, those are your math courses, which are being in that general area, and you'll see a little red area just across them, in which is another one of the English course areas. To the kind of the middle bottom, the yellow color, those are exceptional children programs. Some of them are your self-contained high and low incident students in there. And off on the far left of the plan, you'll see another similar color in a small room, and that is a resource room for exceptional children. And on the far right, in a lighter green, or maybe it's blue, those are your health classrooms and support of the PE and health program. On the gray areas towards the bottom of the sheet, those are your administrative areas, principal. This is where your SRO, your school nurse, and support like that would be. In the middle of the common area across from the exceptional children close to the math classroom is another gray shaded area where one of the assistant principals would be. So they could be out amongst the instructional areas to help monitor and assist. And then if you go to the second floor plan, it's a very similar layout. The classrooms pretty much stack one above the other. You can see where the English classrooms, again, towards the top of the sheet across the building there. On the bottom left, again, more of the math classrooms. And in this case, there's some earth science classrooms, which are in a green or yellow color there, across there, and then one additional English classroom on the end. And there are two resource classrooms for exceptional children in the middle. On the far right, this is your primary science wing on the second floor. This is where you have your biology, your physical sciences, and your chemistry are all located over in that area. Again, in light gray is support staff, which in this case would be an assistant principal stacked above the same place they were on the first floor, and one on the far left of this plan next to the exceptional children resource rooms. And then in the sort of to the right middle there, this is where you have your counselors' offices and other staff of support such for students in that area right there. So I hope this helps with answering the question of what is in the building and where they are. And you can see by the quantity of the classrooms and the support spaces. Apologize for going on and on, so I will stop and answer any questions you may have.
Anybody have any questions? No. Thank you, Mr. Barak.
You're welcome. Thank you.
At this time, we have the Polk County Schools, high school mascot.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and Dr. Stewart. At this time, I'd like to take a moment or a few minutes to introduce our plan or our recommendation for a new mascot for Hope County High School. The goal is to establish a unified identity through the introduction of a new mascot for Hope County High School. The initiative is designed to create consistency across all departments as well as athletic teams and school organizations in order to foster a sense of school pride and tradition. In adoption or by adopting a single official mascot, Hope County High School aims to strengthen its brand, promote school spirit, and ensure a distinct and exclusive representation of the Institute's values and community. Next slide, please. The mascot redevelopment process has been conducted within the past five months of this school year. Key milestones include from August through October of 2024. This included various meetings that ensured that the company would work to incorporate the book image and continue with the school pride that we maintain. From November through December of 2024, Loaded for Bear, also referred to as LFB, conducted the mascot redesign. In December 2024, the initial mascot concept presentation was presented to the Hope County High School principal, the athletic director, and to myself. In January of 2025, we were able to review and provide feedback with the Hope County High School committee, followed by design refinements, and that information was also shared back with Loaded for Bear. They did the refinements. And the committee consisted of Hope County High School teachers, a student representative from the SGA, as well as Ms. Pabram and Mr. Cook. Next slide, please.
Can I interject?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you let the people know why we're doing a mascot? Everybody might not know.
We can. The information was shared that we were using a mascot that was copyrighted, basically. So once that information was shared with me, I made sure to share it with the superintendent. And we also conferred with our legal representation about what steps to take so that we could use a mascot that would be Hope County High School's mascot, the logo, the identity, and that we would have copyright images as well as the lettering, the typography, so that we could use it to advertise for Hope County High School legally. So that is why we were going through this process.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On this slide, it basically introduces the company, the graphic design company, which is located out of, I think they're located out of Tennessee, but that's Loaded for Bear. They are a branding and design firm that specializes in creating powerful and dynamic mascot identities, and their expertise ensures that the new mascot captures the strength, the resilience, and school spirit that defines Hope County High School. Next slide, please. The primary goals of the mascot redevelopment or redesign include establishing a unified and recognizable athletics identity, creating a mascot that embodies strength, resilience, and school pride, and designing a versatile logo suitable for merchandise, uniforms, and promotional materials. Next slide, please. This new design will feature a bold typography style, a dynamic and rich color palette, and a strong, fearless character representation. Next slide. And now we'll take a look at the actual mascot. So at this time, please allow me to introduce the new recommended logo for Hope County High School, home of the Fighting Bucks. Next slide, please. To ensure a cohesive look, the mascot design focuses on key characteristics. We have a noble defender, symbolizing strength and leadership of the school. Battle and ready stance, which is displaying readiness and determination. Fierce and spirited, which is representing energy and enthusiasm. And bold and symmetrical, ensuring a visually impactful presence. These characteristics of the mascot make the statement that this book is resilient and ready to face the challenges that he may encounter. Next slide. Before you are examples of the school's palette, typography, and the mascot. Next slide, please. Here you can see that the HC is incorporated into the logo to keep the tradition of identifying Hope County, and Fighting Bucks is also incorporated to maintain the tradition of the mascot and the logo. Next slide, please. Here are examples of the mascot incorporated into the school's color palette to provide visuals how the mascot can be interchangeable with various backgrounds. Next slide, please. And we will also display this logo and typography prominently on featured spirit wear and merchandise. These depicted images show examples of the typography and the mascot incorporated onto red and black clothing. Next slide. Here you can see examples of a mascot on a collared pullover shirt, as well as a large mascot on the back of a hoodie. And the logo and typography is also displayed on other merchandise. Next slide. And here we can see the logo and lettering on a lettered jacket, as well as baseball caps. And so for the next 3 slides, we will see examples of the typography and mascot on soccer, basketball, and baseball uniforms. These designs will maintain a consistent look across all sports, reinforcing the brand identity for Hope County High School. Next slide. So here you can see an example of soccer uniforms. Next slide. These are basketball uniforms as an example. And the next slide, here you can see a baseball jersey or baseball uniform. And next slide, please. Beyond apparel, the new mascot will be incorporated into the school's athletic facilities, including, next slide, please. Here you can see it in the center of the soccer field or football field. Next slide. The center of the basketball court, still incorporating that HC, so we have Hope County High School there. Next slide, please. These are arena banners and other branded elements to enhance school spirit and visual identity. And other areas that it could also include are the facilities environmental graphics that will be incorporated into the new building that is currently being constructed. At the conclusion, Loaded for Bear will provide a comprehensive portfolio of digital assets, including multiple file formats, optimized graphics for social media platforms, and branding materials for school-wide consistency. The portfolio of digital assets will grant the school and district unlimited rights to reproduce the mascot and lettering, enabling administrators to promote the mascot in a variety of ways. And next slide, please. At this time, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present this information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have any questions? No?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just want to tell Dr. Spells and the staff that this is a wonderful job that they did on this. I'm super impressed. This is even better than the old. And this looks, I would say, excuse my language, but it looks bad and you can fill in the blank.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
At this time, we have school fees. Ms. Payton.
Only my cup of tea is socializing, not coming up here. Good evening, everyone, Madam Chair, board members, all of you distinguished, wonderful, beautiful face. Congratulations, Ms. Bratchett.
Thank you.
I'm here to talk about school fees. It was brought to my attention that there have been some concerns of why we have school fees and what do we do with them and how they interfere with possibly students being able to participate in certain events at our school. Now, I've been in Hope County, this is my 15th year, we've always had school fees. And they've always been required to pay all of their fees to participate in the prom and some of the other senior activities, but never to come to school. Two different kind of concepts. So school fees allows us to operate in a different way because high school is not a Title I school. We do not get funds like that. Am I correct? So we have to operate in a different way. Same thing, so our school fees did go up and we already addressed that this year. I probably should have done it a different way, so I take ownership on that, but we have raised the school fees and over about 70% have paid their school fees. And I have my bookkeeper here with me. And of course, the first thing she started doing was digging. So I just want to give you a little history. From my understanding, even Chairman Blue said since she was in school, how long ago? You want me to say that, right? That we've had school fees and they had to pay all their fees to participate in prom. And every year it rears its ugly head when they have to pay their school fees to participate in prom. So this year, when I raised the school fees, I was very intentional in what I was doing. One, I wanted to make sure that we were able to provide every teacher supplies for their classrooms. And it doesn't stop at the beginning of the school year. We get $10,000 from the district. It went because when you start ordering notebooks, calculators, all the things that teachers requested, and then math need graph and paper, it goes real fast. But more importantly, labs. Can they do live labs in the biology? Teachers should not have to buy these supplies. And so the school fees help us to defray that cost for everybody. And it's not, nobody knows whether a student paid a school fee or not. They're invited to participate at all times. But school fees also pay for the seniors. All through the year, they defray the cost of their prom. So prom went down, tell me if I'm right, from 60 to 40 this year, right? We were able to deduce that to $40 for those seniors and those juniors. And then the sophomore and freshmen have to be invited, and they have a different fee because they haven't paid into their school fees throughout a chain of time. But it also defrayed the cost for the dinner. We have a dinner for the seniors. We have a white party. We have a picnic. We have a movie night. And instead of a kid having to pay this amount of money all the time to participate, we have defrayed the cost to the point where it's very affordable. The only thing we do not cover for seniors is the senior trip, which is to Florida, I believe, and that's and they have a long term to pay that price. We also cover all our lanyards, all of our ID cards, all of the paper, the print. I can't tell you how many daily ID cards we print, but we have to cover all that. And we had talked about this previously, Dr. Ramshaw and all of us in a meeting about not charging for new ID cards, and we've stopped charging that as well. We pay for all of the ribbons for the ID. The list is very long, y'all. We pay for all the art class supplies, and with the new art endorsement, that price, that cost increased tremendously so that they can meet their endorsements from from DPI and make sure the students are able to really get into the visual arts and have all of the supplies. You cannot ask these kids to go buy these supplies. We also pay and supplement all the student club activities. And we have a lot of clubs, and we added about 5 new clubs this year. We pay for all the honor corps, all of the, what do you call that? The honor, what you call it, stashes, the sashes and everything. We pay for all of that. We pay for the portfolio for their diploma, we pay for the diploma, and the list just keeps going. And we have to pay that in general funds, and that's where school fees go, into general funds, provide us the opportunity to afford that and make sure every student has the opportunity to receive those things. I can go on and on, but that is what we do. We pay for supplemental transportation as well. This year, we found out we could not pay for the bus to go to Sand Hills. There's something with state funds and everything. So we, with collaboration with Sandhook, had to come up with additional funds to pay for that. I'm sorry, my phone is over there. Can you turn it off, please? And so this was unexpected, but it is what it is. We pay for the gym floor. Even though we play basketball and the athletic department is using that, we still have PE classes. So we have to clean all of those floors, and routinely, we do it at the beginning of the school year. We did it over the holiday, and we'll have to do it at the end and start the cycle again. The list is very long. We don't charge the fees to make somebody break them, to make them feel less. We charge the fees so we can function, and that we can provide every student an equal and equitable opportunity to great education. And I think we're moving in the right way. The fees will stay stable, and we will move forward that way. So that's what we do with all these fees. Are there any questions?
Yes, Madam Chair. So what will be the fees that will cause a student not to receive their diploma when they graduate? Is there any fee that will cause a student not to receive their diploma because they didn't pay?
Historically, if they don't have all school fees cleared, they cannot receive it, but we've been talking about that as well. And that's the same thing with the prom. If they don't pay the fees, they then can't go to the prom. Because if you don't have some kind of stack there, they're not going to do it. There's always gonna be that 10% that's just not gonna do it. How many, Wendy, would you say have already covered their fees?
We have about 500 that have paid so far, out of 2,000, we have about 500.
And nobody knows who does or does not pay the fees. We're just moving along in our school. But it does rear its head in the prom time. And that's when people say, oh, I want my child to go to prom, but oh, you haven't paid since 9th grade. And then it kind of catches up that way. And mind you, if they're in JRTC and they did not return a uniform, that's $575. That's added to their school fees. It comes into our school fees because that's how JRTC tracks it. And they have to pay that for that uniform or return that uniform pressed and ready to go. And of course, I would like to see that we don't charge them for chargers, but you know, if you don't have standards and consequence, sometimes people will take advantage of that. We want to make sure that we have kids right now, we talking about school fees that have not paid for a charger, lost it or something like that, and they're walking around with a Chromebook without a charger. So we were able to buy some earlier this year to replace the old ones and give kids chargers, because what's the purpose of having a Chromebook if you can't charge it? So there are a lot of things we can work on, and I'm the first one to tell you that. I'm always looking at different ways, but school fees does help us to operate. We do not get any other funds.
Madam Chair, so this is just a question I have. Is there any type of funds available up there to reduce the amount of fees that these students might have to pay to be able to graduate? Is there anything out there that maybe the superintendent can get together with his staff and figure something out?
That's what we're gonna have to do. We're looking at budgets right now, and I won't know that until probably April.
And I can tell you, we get a lot of donations sometime in April where people say, I want to pay a couple of students' fees. And it's always the seniors we look at because those are the ones we want to move to the finish line. So we do get donations and cover things. And if they have a hardship, they can go to the social worker. It's confidential, and then life goes on.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. I think the community needed to hear that. At this time, we got boys volleyball.
Yes, that's gonna be Mr. Covington.
Good evening, board chair, board members, Dr. Spells. Just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that we've been looking into adding a new sport to our list of sports that we have. And what this is intended on doing is providing opportunities for students that are not already doing something. You know, we always have to try to find a niche for these students, have given them something to do, some way to kind of engage into what we do. So Dr. Spells and I had a conversation, and with that, we did some research, and we did find a male volleyball. Male volleyball is going on right now. It's not sanctioned at this time by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association that our other sports are. It's operating under the North Carolina Boys Volleyball Association, which is probably about 12 to 18 schools away from being sanctioned by the state. So meaning that it will be competitive, just like every other sport we have on campus. Making the decision to move into volleyball at this time would give us an advantage for when it comes. We'd already have a couple of years to where we're already competing. We have a lot of interest in it. Having to walk through some PE classes and just question kids, and once they found out, I mean, it just really blew up. Students are very interested in playing boys volleyball. I even reached out to some staff members just to see if they might be interested in coaching it. And then that started a whole nother rumble. So we actually did some interviews today. We'll finish up tomorrow morning just to see who's interested in coaching boys volleyball. The season that boys volleyball is a spring sport. So that way it's not competing at the same time as girls volleyball or basketball. So it's no competition for use of space. That's one thing that we have noticed about use of space has always been critical here on campus. So the months for boys volleyball would be a spring sport when everything else is outside. We did some research and found a grant to offset costs this first year. The first year and a half, we don't have to pay anything into it. And then that way, when we actually do have, charge admission for this year, we're able to bank that to continue us, be able to sustain that sport. So it is a great leg up. A lot of the teams now are in the Charlotte and Raleigh area, those larger districts and those larger areas where they've already been started initiating these leagues. We do have teams here in Fayetteville, and then you know how it is once we get started, everyone else jumps on board, and we want to be one of those schools that get started early. So therefore, when they do sanction it, it'll be very similar to how some of the success you see with our girls wrestling. We were one of the first schools to jump into girls wrestling, and once we jumped into girls wrestling, now that the rest of the state has come aboard, we're dominating. Well, we win 2 state championships back to back. So I do see an opportunity for us to jump into this boys volleyball, right here in the near future. And I think we could have some of the same success. When it comes down to junior varsity versus varsity, it will compete these first years as a club until the state recognizes it. And like I said, it takes 25% of the schools in North Carolina to 25% of the members that pay into North Carolina High School Athletic Association to be sanctioned, and we're right there at it already. I want to say it comes out to be like 118 schools, and right now we would be 104. So it's taking a lot of momentum right now, a lot of conversations about it, and that's pretty much it. I think it'd be a great opportunity for students. Gives another opportunity for students to have something to do if they don't make the baseball team or the track team, those spring sports. And then it also brings more awareness to volleyball, and then it will strengthen our female volleyball team as well. We got some good strides coming off of a great season this past year with volleyball, one of the better seasons we've had in a long time, and we just kind of take that momentum and continue it going.
Sounds good.
Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We want to get started in March.
Yes, sir.
Starting in March, all right, good. Thank you so much. At this time, we have Stand Hope Early College calendar. Dr. Ramsey.
Good evening to our board chair, our board members, and our superintendent. So I'm here tonight to discuss with you the 2025-2026 draft Sandhook Early College calendar. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about the process for the calendar. We use the traditional calendar, the proposed traditional calendar. We use that proposed traditional calendar to develop the Sandhook Early College calendar. So last month, we did bring before the board the traditional calendar for the 2025-2026 school year, and we went through a very similar process with Sandhook Early College. The process began with myself and the administrative team of Sandhook Early College looking over the calendar, the draft calendar for the traditional, and aligning that calendar with the current proposed calendar for Sandhook Early College. That draft calendar meets all of the legal requirements for the North Carolina legal requirements, and also aligns itself with the college, the Sand Hills College as well. That draft was then taken before the Sandhook Early College staff, and they had an opportunity to give feedback and look at that calendar. Since that time, we did get a notice from Sand Hills that they did make some changes in their calendar, which caused us to make some changes also in the calendar, which you would see that the only difference is that I believe that's, is in April. We had to make a shift in that April calendar, changing the mandatory workday from April the 7th to April the 2nd. Other than that, we did our very best to line the calendar up with the current traditional calendar so that there is some overlap between those calendars for parents whose children are on those two calendars. So the calendar presented tonight does reflect a thorough review process, just as our previous traditional calendar that we brought to you. It's in line with our traditional calendar, also in line with our state requirements. It balances those instructional needs with that flexibility of some unforeseen circumstances as well, and then supports the professional development of our teachers and teacher preparation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you, Dr. Ramsey. At this time, we have our vacancy report.
Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Spells, good evening. I'm here tonight to present our vacancy report. You can see this is of February the 6th, 2025. And you will see that we have included, to ensure that we are transparent, all departments and schools throughout the district. And at this time, we do have certified of 79. Hopefully, after we leave tonight, we'll have 70. And classified as of February the 6th, we had 26. So hopefully, when we leave tonight, we'll have 16. So that would give us way under the 100 total vacancies for our district. So that would be a total of 86, hopefully after tonight.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. At this time, we're gonna go to our action items. And the first action item is the 2025-2026 school calendar. And I guess we can go item by item to make a motion to approve the 2025-2026 school calendar. Can I get a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve the calendar schools academic calendar for 2025.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Okay, the motion has been made to accept the 2025-2026 school calendar. It's been second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. The next one is the E-rate one bids. Can I get a motion to accept the E-rate one bids? Can I get a motion? Anyone? I need a motion to approve the E-rate one bids.
I make that motion that we approve the E-rate one bids.
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made to approve the E-rate one bids. It's been second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? He brought that last month, so that's why some additional. Okay. The third one is the state amendment number 3.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Dr. Spells, and all guests. I'm before you seeking approval for the state amendment number 3. If you will turn your attention to our report, the previous balance was $77,055,182.72. Our net adjusted amounts $416,509.52. And our amended budget, state budget, is $77,471,692.24. Below that, you will see the accounts that were affected. Our key information at the bottom, our adjusted, our PRC 009, which is our non-contributory employee benefits, which is covered by the state. Those expenses are our transfer from PRC 13, Career Technical Education, months of employment, to our program for CTE, Program Support Account. Our PRC 16, which is our summer reading camps. We had an additional allocation. PRC 48, principal and other teacher performance bonuses. We had a new allocation, additional allocation. Our PRC 63, children with disabilities and special funds. We had a new allocation. And our direct purchase stop arm enhancement fund for our buses, we had a new allocation. I'm before you seeking approval for state amendment number 3. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Okay, can I get a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve the state amendment.
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made to approve the state amendment number 3. It's been second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, can I get, someone to give us the closed session?
Madam Chair, yes, I move to go into closed sessions under the North Carolina General Statutes, 143-318.11, to promote the disclosure of confidential personnel and student matters, to consider matters related to the initial employment of individual employees, and to consult with the board's attorney to preserve the attorney-client privilege.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, motion has been made to go into closed session. It's been second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you so much for, I guess, being here. We'll now take a 5-minute